Welcome to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger, where we help you bridge the gap between pain and performance. Each week, we'll share strategies, insights, and real-life applications to help you keep moving and stay driven. Now, let's get into this week's episode of the Movement Driven Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Movement Driven Podcast. I'm Dara, here with Dr. Greg Goldberger. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dara. How are you?
Doing well. We are starting to heat up a little bit here in the state of Florida, would you say?
It is getting a little hotter. Yep.
We still have some really nice days where it's still, a little cooler in the morning,
Right.
some breeze, and then warms up in the afternoon. I feel like the last couple of years, we've been really lucky to have
May has still been decent. Yeah.
And then it's like literally Memorial Day hits and it's like, boom, summer.
Here's your summer.
Yeah.
See, I'm still spoiled. Feel spoiled up here because I'm from South Florida.
Right.
By March, it was already hotter than it is here in May,
For sure.
which is crazy. It's only like 4 hours south, but I'm here for it. I'm ready, and it's summer. I love summer.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm here for it.
Absolutely. So now that we're officially in the Florida heat, let's talk a little bit about training in the Florida heat, or in heat in general, and how summer workouts in Florida hit different.
Yeah.
Like so different.
Yeah.
What does that do to the body?
Well, I mean, and anybody probably knows, obviously your fatigue levels hit rather quickly when it's hotter. Your body's trying to divert some of that caloric energy into temperature regulation rather than just energy output. So you feel gassed even at a lower intensity. You're out of breath. You're sweating. You're already done by the end of the warm up, especially at where you go at Graham.
Oh, yeah.
Super cold in the winter and super hot in the summer, and just a couple of months but hey, that's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
And then potential for increased cardiovascular strain for those who have some underlying cardio issues. We got to really be careful not to dehydrate, and then your heart rate's going to climb faster because blood's being pushed to the skin to kind of get rid of that heat. So your heart's working faster for dual purposes. And then obviously we're sweating more, so faster dehydration. And you're not just losing water, but you're losing sodium, you're losing electrolytes. So we'll talk about what I think everybody kind of knows if you're listening to this podcast because you're active, but just to kind of refresh your memory of what you should be doing to kind of change diet and the way that you hydrate this time of year.
Yeah. Well, I think, even though people who are active, we know that hydration is important. But even me, I mean, I've been, on the CrossFit journey for going on 7 years now. And it's almost like in the summer, I forget that
it's a habit, right?
Right. And not just forget to hydrate because I'm doing that all year round regularly, but there is extra hydration that has to go into what I've got to do in the summer. And that's not just, I'm a huge fan of LMNT. We are not sponsored by them, but if you are listening and you want to sponsor us, we would absolutely love it. And
Did you say LMNT?
LMNT
Instead of element?
Well, if I said element, people might.
Well, like my uncle, right? We were just talking. It's fine. I'm gonna let the people in. We were just talking about this story right before we came on about pronouncing that company LMNT as element, and I think I confused it earlier.
No, I said it on purpose because yes, it is element, but a lot of if I said people element, and then. But you see the LMNT and your brain says element, but when you see LMNT,
some people say LMNT in their brain.
Yeah, well,
maybe the company should get some more audio advertisements.
Right,
out there
it's
so
just
we can
for
hear
the samples
it,
at the gym. Press button for pronunciation.
Right.
But I will typically use one of those packets per day on just a regular basis. But in the summer, instead of sometimes I'll have maybe half of a second one or another one, depending on how intense the workout is. But I also have to change my nutrition up a little bit as well. I mean, you should be moving with the seasons anyway with your nutrition, but I'll be definitely adding in more watermelon, more cucumbers, just so that I'm not just getting my hydration from a cup. I'm also getting it from my food and my nutrition as well. So I think people think that they're hydrated because they drink the element packets or they have, whatever high electrolyte packets you're drinking. I don't consider Gatorade electrolytes. I consider it a sugar bomb, but could be good for, if you are working out in the heat, to add a little bit more of that.
Serve as a place at some time.
For sure. and not hating on Gatorade, love Gatorade, but you know, so the people who think that they're hydrated just because they're drinking water, what are they missing here?
Well, I mean, if you're going heavy in the water and more than your body's used to, and it's water, 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 you can actually like over dilute yourself,
Mm,
and then because it's all about the balance of your electrolytes with the water within your system. So as much as we want to just hydrate, you know, as much as we can, if water is your only source of hydration, you're not getting in those electrolytes, then there's going to be that imbalance, and you need sodium to help nervous tissue function, help muscles function,
mhm,
calcium, potassium, all those things have to be in balance with one another to kind of cross certain channels within the cell and not lead to cramping or just inefficient muscle contraction and things
mhm,
like that. So if you're just hydrating with water because it's hot out and that's what I'm quote unquote supposed to do, then you're potentially setting yourself up for failure. Not to say it's better, you know, obviously drinking more water is better than drinking less water,
right.
but it's obviously about the balance of getting the right type of nutrition, like you said, the right type of electrolytes in your system. And I think it's more about like the timing of hydration. Like
Right.
people, by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, is what
Mhm.
the people kind of say. So um, if you know that you're going to be outside for a prolonged event coming up, then you need to start hydrating 24 to 48 hours beforehand. Prep
Mm.
your body,
Mhm.
and don't wait till you're already sweating and can't. You're exhausted and you're just trying to get one sip of water, and it's too late at that point.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a good routine too, what I try to do the days that I'm not working out first thing in the morning is I will try to drink some electrolytes before I even have coffee. So I'm hydrating before I'm kind of
Dehydrating.
dehydrating
Yeah.
in a way. You know, and then same with the summertime, the heat's up, people want to be on the patio, they want to be drinking margaritas by the pool,
Mhm.
you know. So another good thing to do, even just in the summer, you know, beyond just your working out
Yeah.
or your
One
activities.
water for every beer kinda thing at the
Yeah.
tailgate or
Yep,
the baseball tailgate. Yeah.
or some kind of electrolyte,
Mm.
specifically before that. So before working out, I was going to ask you about timing for workouts.
Mhm.
So you said if you're working an event all day long in the heat, be hydrating 48 hours to 24 hours beforehand. But how about a workout? And let's say I'm going to work out at the 12:30 class in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
for a CrossFit heavy, you know, hit style kind of workout. That's going to basically be outside because
Mhm.
if you do CrossFit and unless you are blessed to be at a gym that has AC,
I've never been at, like, a
I-
legit CrossFit with
yeah,
AC.
you know, I mean, we've got our big fan and the big fans ahead, and then a bunch of little fans around the gym to
Mhm.
try to cool the gym down. But it's like you're basically in a sauna
Crazy.
at that
Right.
point. Is it better to hydrate before that workout, or is it also good to be drinking your electrolytes during the workout?
I mean, I think all of that you need to be ready to go once you get there, but
Mhm.
I don't know if you see like the tennis stars, they'll always have like two different drinks that they're drinking from.
True.
There's your water, there's your electrolyte, and they're obviously they're balancing it for their bodies in some way. But I think if you have to do the 12:30 workout, then plan ahead and
Mm.
hydrate ahead. But obviously I can't stand the guy that runs at 2 p.m. outside on, you know, mid July. I'm like, dude, like, there's no other time you could have got this
Yeah.
workout. Like, you're just asking for it. But, you know, again, better moving than not moving.
Yeah.
But, you know, plan ahead. Try to train early or late in the daytime. 10 to 15-degree difference in the shade if you can do your workout in the shade. Um and I think too the one of the biggest things that people don't is like once it's getting hot, especially if you're like a snowbird or something, like and you're not used to certain weather, you come down here from the north, like you need to prepare your body
Mhm.
and acclimate to that weather because like for athletes when they that's why the Dolphins are good in September but they stink in November. Like the teams that come and play them in September, they're used to different kind of weather
Right.
and their bodies they have the fans and they have all the oxygen masks and they have misters on the sideline. You look at the Dolphin sideline, they're like, we're good.
Yeah.
They don't have any of that.
Mhm.
And then when the weather gets more balanced, then they lose all their games. But
That's yeah, sure.
that's a
That's what
topic
we'll say
for
about the
another.
Dolphins.
I'm a Dolphins fan for everybody listening. The Jags don't have as much of an issue. The weather's beautiful over here, but yeah, you got to like prep your body in more ways than one, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, absolutely, absolutely. So, typically, I know that we've talked in the past about kind of spring being when injuries start to show themselves,
Yeah.
just because of people coming out of the winter months and finally it's warming up, so they're going to be moving more. But I think that we tend to see more injuries in the summer,
hmm
in general. And why is that? Why do they spike
I
this
think
time of
some
year?
of it is the heat intolerance of some
Hmm.
people. If they are people that work outside, they're trying to push themselves at the same degree that they did a couple months ago, and they don't
Hmm.
have the energy like we talked about, and then something along that chain kind of breaks. But I think a lot of it is just people are doing a lot of different activities that they're not necessarily accustomed to doing too. More outside activities. They're you know kind of they're going on vacation, they're doing zip lining, they're doing this. So I think just in general, we see a little, and we don't necessarily uptake now. We see the uptick when school starts. People wait until the summer's over because they want to enjoy their summer.
Right.
But we do see like a lot of injuries caused in the summer. So
Yeah.
I think it's just like, don't be stupid about your fun this summer.
Right.
But definitely if you're out and about, hydrate. Remember that you might be moving a little bit slower just because it's hot out.
Hmm.
So adjust accordingly, modify, don't overly push yourself. Don't wait till you're about to pass out to make that modification.
Right.
Listen to your body. And you should be able to avoid anything going on too bad this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely hydrate's important, and not just like I said before, not just adding electrolytes to your water, which is helpful as well, but other ways, nutrition wise, you can sneak in the hydration
hmm
as well, with cucumbers and watermelon, and there's other foods that have that added hydration as well that would just be in addition,
Right.
to the
Well, and then yeah,
electrolytes.
and if you're one that's been cramping a little bit extra,
Pickles.
yeah, but like specifically magnesium, potassium
Right.
is what we're going for, but obviously the salt as well from the pickle juice. And um, but I will just add this one caveat on it. If you're cramping kind of randomly, then it's probably dehydration or electrolyte imbalance.
Mm.
But if you're cramping the same muscle group over and over again, it's probably some local weakness. But we'll just leave that as a tease for another episode
Yeah.
soon to come.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll keep this one short and sweet. I hope you guys had a safe and fun Memorial Day weekend. But just going into the summer, some of these things to keep in mind to make sure that you're hydrating properly so that you are not exposing yourself for more injury risks while you're enjoying the things with your families and friends and things like that. So, thank you, Dr. Greg. As always, if you would like to find us, movementdriven.com, you can schedule a discovery call, or anyone who listens to the podcast gets a $79 special eval. So make sure to get those movement assessments in, and then we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, Dr. Greg.
Have a good summer, guys.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger. Want to see how we're helping people in Jacksonville bridge the gap between pain and performance? Head on over to movementdriven.com. Until next time, keep moving, stay driven.